I'm Hayden Henderson. I'm a student at TAS. I'm student council president there, and I've been organizing the walkouts at TAS, the last two that we've had.
And I'm Isaac Maker. I am a grade 10 student at TAS, and I've been involved politically with the walkouts at TAS as well.
Recently, it's been announced last month or so that the Ontario education system is having a lot of funding pulled out of it, and it's amounting to about $1 billion in cuts. And so where those cuts are sort of coming from is an increase in average class sizes, and it's adding mandatory online courses.
Yeah, I mean, losing teachers means that we get less one-on-one time with teachers for anyone who needs help with anything. It also means that a lot of electives and arts and sports and after-school stuff will also be lost.
Elective classes like shops are going to get hit, which is allegedly what they want to focus on. So it's really contradictory, and so it'll be hard for those classes to run and those industries to be able to fill their positions. Yeah, and that's going to affect like university enrollment too. You're going to see less kids, going into those sorts of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Social Sciences, things like that, because you're not going to be able to attain enough university credits to go into those programs. But a lot of kids are really, really concerned, I find, and this is sort of what I was getting from Adam Scott, was the mandatory e-learning. That's the real sort of big one. I tried my hand at e-learning the previous semester to this one. Wasn't my thing. I could not function in that sort of digital environment, learning online.
And I mean, the e-learning site used to say e-learning is not for everyone, because it isn't. Not everyone learns in that one single style of e-learning. And without a teacher there to help like one-on-one with a student in the room, it's really difficult for students to maybe ask questions, as Hayden said earlier, to a teacher and get a response immediately, and to get that feedback that they need on work so that they will succeed in the class. And e-learning does have a higher dropout rate than regular school classes.
The premier has mentioned is that it was teachers and unions that were primarily pushing these rallies.
That is the biggest lie. The first walkout, I organized that myself. There was no help from teachers. I borrowed a megaphone from someone, and I said it was for student council's business. I lied. The first time we did it, we weren't sure how the administration at our school was going to react, so we didn't talk about it at school. We kept it very on the down low, very quiet. And then once we realized with the second one that they weren't going to crack down on us, it was just going to be marked as a skip, just with anything. That's when we went more public with it. We have a number of younger teachers, and you could sort of tell there's some tension as to whether or not they're aware that if they're going to keep their position or not.
Not only that, during the time that these announcements were made, we had a lot of student teachers in our classrooms who were there from Trent, and I know I certainly liked my student teacher in my math class, and I know a lot of the kids in my class were really worried for him because he might not be able to get a job with the cuts that they're making to the education system. I know right now my sister's in university, and she was planning maybe going into teaching, and she's so I know that's really affected her in like how she's feeling about her new profession and stuff.
Going back a little bit, another claim that people are making about these student walkouts is that they're just attempts by students to get out of class. Is that the case?
The most frustrating thing for me about those sorts of ideas is that it totally undermines the fact that, and this is the exact same concern with people saying that they're organized by teachers unions and things like that we can't think for ourselves, that we can't look at what's going on and judge that it is wrong. There are going to be kids that take that opportunity to skip, but when you look at the 150 kids that showed up at that walkout and you're saying, oh, they're just doing it to skip, while they're cheering, while they're holding signs, while they are actively participating in what is going on, they wouldn't have come if they just wanted to skip.
So I'm wondering if there's ways that you could suggest that could help save money, but don't involve the problems or the criticisms that you guys have highlighted for me today.
Don't put $10 million into the horse racing industry. And don't say. They just came out the other day that the Ford government says that they're going to foot the entire bill for Toronto's for upgrading Toronto's transit system. That's a multi-billion-dollar project. Toronto's one city.
We could cut millions of dollars from standardized testing by just cutting the mass amount of dollars we spend on Aqueo every year, because that is costing the government so much money, and it really isn't doing anything for the students in the future of Ontario. I would like to encourage everyone in Peterborough, if you're against these matters, please send letters to your local MPP, to Lisa Thompson, to Doug Ford. Tell them what you think, because that is so important to let our voices be heard, because this is not okay what's happening.